First contact's price. The quantum arrays at Luna Base picked up the signal on a routine sweep of the Kuiper belt. Dr. Sarah Chen stood frozen before her holographic display, coffee forgotten in her hand as she watched the impossible data stream across her screen. After 15 years of searching the cosmos for signs of intelligent life, humanity had found something. Or rather, something had found them. Director Hayes, she called out, her voice steady despite her racing heart. I need you to verify these readings. The signal pulsed with mathematical precision, prime numbers arranged in a perfect Fibonacci sequence. No natural phenomenon could produce such a pattern. As Chen and Hayes analyzed the data, neither noticed the subtle changes beginning in Earth's upper atmosphere, microscopic alterations in the quantum field that would later be recognized as the first sign of humanity's greatest trial. 3 days later, every quantum computer on Earth simultaneously crashed. The global financial markets followed within hours. In London, New York, and Tokyo, centuries of digital wealth vanished in moments. Panic spread as transportation systems failed, power grids flickered, and communication networks went dark. Humanity's technological infrastructure, the backbone of modern civilization, was being systematically dismantled by an unseen force. Admiral James Cooper stood before the United Earth Defense Council, his weathered face illuminated by emergency lighting. Ladies and gentlemen, we are under attack. An attack so sophisticated that until 48 hours ago, we didn't even know it was possible. The holographic displays showed surveillance footage from orbital platforms, massive vessels emerging from what appeared to be tiers in space itself. They were beautiful in their alienness, crystalline structures that seemed to bend light around them, making them appear almost liquid in nature. The Nexus Collective, as they would later be known, had arrived. Their first message was broadcast simultaneously to every remaining functional device on Earth: your species has been evaluated and found lacking. Surrender your resources and accept integration, or face extinction. You have 7 planetary rotations to comply. In an underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Maya Patel watched the broadcast with growing determination. For the past decade, her team had been working on theoretical applications of quantum mechanics that most scientists considered impossible. Project Aurora hadn't been meant for war, it was supposed to revolutionize space travel. Now it might be humanity's only hope. Dr. Patel, Lieutenant Commander David Rodriguez interrupted her thoughts. The Chinese just lost their quantum defense grid. India's followed 10 minutes later. We're running out of time. Maya nodded, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. How many of the new quantum cores survived the initial attack? 3. Maybe 4 if the Australians managed to shield theirs in time. It wasn't much, but it would have to be enough. Maya pulled up the project files she'd been working on for the past year, theoretical models for manipulating quantum fields in ways that shouldn't be possible. The aliens' technology clearly operated on principles humanity barely understood, but they had one advantage: desperate creativity. Get me a secure line to Admiral Cooper, Maya ordered. Tell him Project Aurora is ready for field testing. The next 48 hours passed in a blur of activity. As the Nexus Collective ships took position around Earth's major population centers, a handful of humanity's brightest minds worked frantically to adapt theoretical science into practical weapons. They had no time for proper testing, no chance to consider long-term consequences. They had only their determination and the knowledge that failure meant the end of human independence. Maya stood in the heart of the facility, surrounded by equipment that pushed the boundaries of human scientific understanding. The quantum core hummed with potential energy, its crystalline structure reminiscent of their enemies' ships. That wasn't a coincidence. They'd learned more about quantum mechanics in the past 2 days of studying the alien attacks than in the previous decade of research. Final diagnostics complete, Rodriguez reported. If this works, Maya interrupted, we'll have a fighting chance. If it doesn't. She left the thought unfinished. They all knew the stakes. The first test of Project Aurora's quantum fold technology was conducted on a small drone. The device disappeared in a flash of impossibly colored light, reappearing exactly 2 meters to the left and 3 seconds in the future. It wasn't much, but it proved the concept worked. They could manipulate spacetime in ways the aliens wouldn't expect. Admiral Cooper's voice crackled through the quantum-encrypted channels. "Dr. Patel, the collective has begun landing operations in Asia. Whatever you're planning, we need it now." Maya took a deep breath, looking at the experimental device they'd crafted from theoretical science and desperate innovation. "Tell the Admiral we're ready. Project Aurora goes live in 30 minutes. As she initiated the final sequence, Maya reflected on the irony of the situation. Humanity had dreamed of first contact for centuries, imagining peaceful exchanges of knowledge and culture. Instead, they got an ultimatum and a week to prepare for war. But if there was one thing humans excelled at, it was adapting to survive. The quantum core's hum rose to a crescendo as Maya input the final commands. Around the world, the remaining quantum networks synchronized with her signal. They had one chance to show the Nexus Collective that humanity wouldn't go quietly into the night. One chance to prove that sometimes the most dangerous species are the ones backed into a corner. "All stations, prepare for quantum fold initialization," Maya announced, her voice steady despite the weight of billions of lives resting on her shoulders. "Let's show our visitors why you should never underestimate human ingenuity." In orbit, the collective ships continued their methodical deployment, unaware that humanity was about to change the rules of engagement. The war for Earth's survival was about to begin, and nothing in the universe would ever be the same. Project Aurora Dawn. The underground facility shook as another collective ship passed overhead. Maya's team had worked for 72 hours straight, fueled by synthetic caffeine and the knowledge that every passing minute brought humanity closer to subjugation. The quantum fold prototype hummed in its containment chamber, its crystalline core pulsing with possibilities. "Latest simulation complete," Rodriguez announced, his eyes red from lack of sleep. "We've managed to extend the temporal displacement to 15 seconds, but the energy requirements are exponential." Maya studied the results, her mind racing through calculations. The collective ships manipulated quantum fields with an efficiency humanity couldn't match, but they followed predictable patterns. That predictability would be their weakness. "We don't need to match their power," she explained, pulling up a holographic model of their test results. "We just need to disrupt their quantum fields at exactly the right moment." Admiral Cooper's image appeared on the main display, his uniform dusty from the recent evacuation of Washington. "Dr. Patel, the collective has begun establishing ground bases in occupied territories. Their technology it's like nothing we've ever seen. They're rewriting physical laws on a local level." "Show me," Maya demanded. The footage that followed confirmed her theories. The collective wasn't just technologically advanced, they had mastered quantum manipulation to the point where they could alter fundamental forces within limited areas. But their control was too perfect, too rigid. Lieutenant Sarah Chen, their quantum physics specialist, noticed it first. "Look at the pattern fluctuations," she pointed out. "They're maintaining quantum stability through constant microadjustments. If we could force multiple conflicting quantum states simultaneously, we could shatter their control fields," Maya finished. "Rodriguez, how many quantum cores do we have operational?" 6, including the Australian backup. "Barely enough to power 2 full-scale tests." Maya's fingers flew across the holographic interface, modifying their original designs. "We don't need full coverage. We just need enough to prove the concept works. Get me all surviving quantum research teams on secure channels. We're going to modify every core simultaneously." The next 24 hours transformed the facility into a hive of desperate innovation. Scientists and engineers worked side by side, breaking down technological barriers that had seemed insurmountable just days before. They weren't just building weapons, they were redefining humanity's understanding of quantum mechanics. The first breakthrough came from Dr. James Liu in Singapore. His team discovered a way to create cascading quantum disruptions using minimal energy. The second came from Berlin, a method for shielding human technology from quantum interference. Each discovery brought them closer to a fighting chance. Maya stood in the testing chamber, watching as they prepared for their first full-scale trial. The modified quantum core no longer hummed, it sang, a crystalline melody that seemed to echo from multiple realities simultaneously. Target drone in position, Rodriguez reported. Quantum field readings stable. Ready for initial test in 3, 2, 1. The drone didn't just disappear, it existed in 12 different locations simultaneously, each version equally real and impossible. For exactly 3.7 seconds, it defied every known law of physics. When it reintegrated, the sensors surrounding it had recorded data that would have won Nobel Prizes in peacetime. It worked, Chen whispered, her voice filled with awe. We actually did it. But Maya was already moving to the next phase. Begin adaptation for larger-scale applications. I want these modifications transmitted to every surviving quantum core within the hour. Admiral Cooper's response was immediate, how soon can we deploy? Maya studied the test results, calculating variables. 24 hours for the first prototype. Maybe 48 for a full combat-ready system. But sir, whoever pilots the first ships, they need to understand the risks. We're asking them to exist in multiple quantum states. We don't fully understand what that will do to human consciousness. I already have volunteers, Cooper replied grimly. Every pilot in what's left of the fleet has volunteered. They know the stakes. The facility shook again, harder this time. The collective was getting closer. In occupied territories, they had begun integrating human technology into their systems, erasing centuries of human innovation and replacing it with their own rigid designs. Maya looked at her team, scientists turned warriors by circumstance, each carrying the weight of humanity's future in their calculations and theories. They had taken quantum mechanics from theoretical physics to practical application in less than a week, driven by the purest form of human determination, survival. Begin final assembly, she ordered. Humanity gets one shot at this. Let's make it count. In orbit, the collective continued their methodical conquest, unaware that in scattered facilities across the globe, humanity was about to introduce chaos into their perfectly ordered universe. The quantum-fold ships would soon be ready, carrying with them humanity's desperate innovation and unrelenting will to survive. As Maya initiated the final construction sequence, she allowed herself a moment of grim satisfaction. The collective had expected humanity to submit or fight conventionally. They hadn't considered that humans might rewrite the laws of physics out of sheer desperation. They were about to learn that underestimating human ingenuity was a dangerous mistake. The Aurora Gambit. Commander Elena Santos stood in the cockpit of humanity's first quantum-fold vessel, the Aurora 1. The ship hummed with possibilities, its crystalline core responding to her neural interface like a living thing. Around her, reality seemed to ripple, an effect of the quantum shield protecting them from the collective's detection. All Aurora vessels, report status, she broadcast through the quantum-encrypted channel. 5 acknowledgements followed, each ship crewed by volunteers who understood they might not survive their first engagement. Remember your training, Dr. Patel's voice came through the neural link. The quantum-fold drive will create multiple concurrent realities. Trust your instincts, they're part of your consciousness across all quantum states. High above Earth's atmosphere, the collective ships maintained their perfect formation. Their crystalline hulls reflected sunlight in mesmerizing patterns as they continued their methodical conquest of human territory. Aurora Squadron, execute Operation Chaos, Admiral Cooper commanded. Show them what humanity can do. Santos took a deep breath and activated the quantum-fold drive. Reality shattered. The Aurora 1 existed in 7 places simultaneously, each version equally real. Through her neural interface, Santos experienced every version at once, a sensation that threatened to overwhelm her consciousness. But humans had evolved to adapt, to survive. Her mind expanded to accommodate the impossible. "Target locked," she reported, her voice echoing across quantum states. "Initiating attack pattern alpha." The collective detected the quantum disturbance too late. Their perfect formations, their precise calculations, meant nothing when facing ships that ignored fundamental laws of physics. The Aurora Squadron struck from multiple realities simultaneously, their quantum disruption weapons creating cascading failures in the collective's carefully maintained fields. 3 collective ships vanished in the first echoes across space. 3 months after humanity's first quantum victory, the war had transformed into something unprecedented. Dr. Maya Patel stood in the Global Command Center, now housed in a quantum-shielded facility beneath the Antarctic ice. The holographic display before her showed hundreds of quantum signatures, both human and collective ships locked in a dance of impossible physics. "They're learning," she observed, watching as a collective vessel attempted to match the quantum fold patterns of an Aurora-class ship. "But they still don't understand." Admiral Cooper nodded grimly. "They try to replicate our technology precisely, but that's not what makes it effective. It's our pilots' ability to improvise, to embrace uncertainty." The collective had retreated after their initial defeat, but they returned with adapted technology. Their ships now generated multiple quantum states, but their movements remained predictable, mathematical perfection that missed the crucial element of human chaos. Commander Santos materialized in the command center, her quantum echo preceding her physical form by several seconds, a common side effect among veteran quantum pilots. "The neural interfaces are evolving," she reported, her eyes slightly unfocused as she perceived multiple realities simultaneously. "We're not just controlling the ships anymore. We're becoming them." Maya had noticed the changes in the Aurora pilots. Their consciousness had adapted to exist across quantum states, developing abilities that bordered on precognition. They could perceive multiple possible futures, react to events before they occurred, and maintain coherent thought across divergent timelines. "Show me the latest combat data," Maya requested. The holographic display shifted, showing a recent engagement over the Pacific. Aurora ships phased through multiple realities, their human pilots instinctively navigating quantum states that should have shattered their minds. The collective's attempts to counter appeared clumsy in comparison, too structured, too rigid. "We've confirmed what we suspected," Lieutenant Chen reported, bringing up new quantum scans. "The collective isn't a unified species. They're an amalgamation of civilizations they've integrated, forced into perfect technological harmony. That's why they can't adapt effectively, their entire society is built on absolute control." The revelation had profound implications. The collective wasn't just fighting for conquest, they were fighting to maintain their version of order across the galaxy. Humanity's quantum chaos wasn't just a military threat, it was an ideological one. A quantum alert pulsed through the command center. New collective signatures had appeared at the edge of the solar system, thousands of them. The second wave had arrived. "They're deploying quantum disruptors," Santos announced, her consciousness already linked to the Aurora fleet. "Trying to force reality into a single state, eliminate our advantage." Maya's fingers danced across quantum-encrypted interfaces. "They still don't understand. You can't force order on quantum mechanics, the uncertainty is fundamental." Rodriguez, initiate Protocol Omega. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum cores activated. Humanity had spent the past 3 months preparing for this moment, seeding space with devices that didn't just manipulate quantum states, they amplified natural quantum uncertainty. The effect was immediate. The collective's perfect formation dissolved as reality itself rebelled against their attempts to impose order. Their quantum disruptors, designed to force singular states, instead catalyzed a cascade of quantum possibilities. Multiple collective ships experiencing critical quantum field failure, Chen reported. "Their attempts to maintain control are actually making it worse." In the chaos, the Aurora fleet struck. Humanity's ships, guided by pilots who had learned to think in quantum possibilities, danced through realities with fluid grace. Where the collective tried to impose order, humans embraced disorder, using it as both weapon and shield. But the collective's numbers were overwhelming. For every ship lost to quantum chaos, 2 more took its place. They were adapting, albeit slowly, learning to operate in the quantum uncertainty that humans had weaponized. "They're trying to reach the quantum cores," Santos warned, her consciousness spread across multiple battle zones. "If they disable enough of them." "They won't," Maya interrupted, initiating emergency protocols. "Because they're not just fighting our technology anymore. They're fighting against the fundamental nature of reality itself." The quantum cores detonated in carefully calculated sequences, creating waves of quantum uncertainty that rippled through space. The collective's rigid technology, their perfect systems, tried to compensate and failed spectacularly. Ships blinked between realities, their crews unable to maintain coherence across quantum states. "Second wave retreating," Cooper announced, but his victory smile faded quickly. "But our quantum core network is depleted. If they come back." "They will," Maya confirmed, already calculating possibilities. "But now we know their weakness. Their perfection is their flaw, and quantum uncertainty is just the beginning. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology, it's our ability to adapt, to thrive in chaos." In orbit, quantum echoes of the battle lingered, reality itself still unsure which possibilities to make permanent. Humanity had won another victory, but the war's true impact was deeper than military success. They had introduced something the collective had never faced before, the power of controlled chaos, the strength of embracing uncertainty. As Maya watched the quantum signatures fade, she understood that this wasn't just a war for survival anymore. It was a clash between 2 fundamentally different approaches to existence, perfect order versus infinite possibility. And humanity, with its messy, chaotic, brilliant adaptability, was rewriting the rules of both reality and warfare. Breaking point. Reality fractured across the solar system as the collective launched their final offensive. Dr. Maya Patel watched through quantum-enhanced sensors as space itself seemed to tear apart, the enemy's desperate attempt to impose absolute order creating paradoxes that threatened the fabric of spacetime. Commander Santos appeared in the command center, her form flickering between quantum states. After months of quantum warfare, most Aurora pilots existed partially out of sync with conventional reality. "They're attempting something new," she reported, her voice echoing across possible timelines. "They're trying to collapse all quantum states into a single reality, their reality." Maya's calculations confirmed the impossible. The collective had committed their entire fleet to this final gambit, their ships forming a vast crystalline lattice that extended beyond Pluto's orbit. They weren't just trying to defeat humanity, they were attempting to rewrite the fundamental laws of physics within the solar system. If they succeed, Chen warned, quantum uncertainty itself will cease to exist in this space. Our technology will be useless, and theirs will be absolute. Admiral Cooper's weathered face showed understanding of the stakes. "How long?" "Hours, maybe less," Maya responded, her mind racing through possibilities. "They're using their entire network as a quantum processor, trying to solve the uncertainty principle itself." The irony wasn't lost on her. The collective's perfect order had been vulnerable to quantum chaos, so they had decided to eliminate chaos itself. It was exactly the kind of solution their rigid thinking would produce, and exactly why it would fail. "All Aurora pilots, prepare for protocol singularity," Maya announced through the quantum network. They had prepared for this possibility, though none had believed the collective would be desperate enough to attempt it. Santos linked with her ship, her consciousness spreading across quantum states. "The entire fleet is ready. But Doctor, you understand what this means? If we do this, there's no coming back." "Not really." Maya nodded. "Sometimes the only way to save reality is to break it completely. Throughout the solar system, every surviving Aurora ship activated their quantum cores simultaneously. But instead of fighting the collective's attempt to collapse quantum states, they added their power to it. The effect was immediate and catastrophic. Multiple quantum field breaches detected, Chen reported, her voice tight with tension. Reality cohesion failing across all sectors. The collective's perfect lattice of ships faltered as they detected the change. They had expected resistance, an attempt to maintain quantum uncertainty. Instead, humanity was pushing them toward their goal with reckless abandon, and far more power than they had calculated for. "They're trying to disengage," Santos reported, her voice coming from multiple points in spacetime simultaneously. "They've realized what we're doing, but it's too late." Maya watched as her calculations proved correct. The collective had tried to eliminate quantum uncertainty by brute force, not understanding that uncertainty wasn't just a physical law, it was a fundamental aspect of existence itself. By pushing them to succeed, humanity had ensured their failure in the most spectacular way possible. Space itself began to buckle as trillions of quantum possibilities tried to collapse into a single state. The collective ships, designed for perfect order, started to break apart as reality rejected their attempted rewrite of physics. Their crystalline hulls shattered across dimensions, each fragment existing in a different quantum state. "Quantum cascade approaching critical threshold," Chen announced. "We need to contain it before it reaches Earth." This was the moment Maya had prepared for. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum cores activated one final time. But these weren't weapons, they were stabilizers, designed to guide the quantum collapse into a controlled disruption rather than total chaos. The effect rippled outward from Earth like a wave of crystallizing possibility. Where it passed, reality stabilized, not into the collective's perfect order, but into a new state where quantum uncertainty was enhanced rather than eliminated. Their attempt to impose absolute order had instead created a space where quantum effects were magnified, where their rigid technology could never function properly. The collective fleet, those ships that survived, retreated in disarray. Their perfect formation was broken, their quantum network shattered by the very forces they had tried to control. They had failed to understand the fundamental truth that humanity had embraced: sometimes the only way to maintain order is to accept chaos. In the aftermath, Santos and the other Aurora pilots reported strange experiences, memories of futures that hadn't happened, awareness of possibilities that never materialized. The quantum war had changed them, just as it had changed the nature of space itself within the solar system. "They won't come back," Maya stated with certainty, studying the quantum readings of the transformed space around Earth. "Not here. We've made our entire solar system toxic to their form of technology. They can't impose their order here anymore." Admiral Cooper looked out at the quantum-altered space, where reality itself now flickered with enhanced uncertainty. "We've changed everything, haven't we? Not just the war, but the fundamental nature of our existence in this region of space." Maya nodded, watching as quantum possibilities danced across her instruments. Humanity had survived not by matching the collective's perfect order, but by embracing and weaponizing the very chaos they had feared. In doing so, they had evolved into something new, a species that could exist in and manipulate quantum uncertainty itself. "We did what humans always do," she replied, allowing herself a small smile. "We adapted. We survived. And we reminded the galaxy that sometimes the most powerful force isn't perfect order, it's the ability to thrive in chaos." Above them, Earth orbited through space that would never be quite normal again, protected by its shell of enhanced quantum uncertainty. The collective had tried to impose their version of perfection on humanity, and in doing so, they had helped create something entirely new, a civilization that had made uncertainty itself into a shield and sword.